He's the leader of the Scottish Family Party, and his name is Richard Lucas. A warm welcome for Richard, please. Thank you.
I hate the sexualisation of children. I hate the idea that you've got to break down the barrier between childhood and sexuality. I hate the idea of asking children, and primary school children, about their sexuality and sexual activity. I hate it. I hate the indoctrination of children into transgender ideology. They're told this is something normal and natural, healthy. It's excited, we'll celebrate it. You too can be special, just tell us you want to be the other sex. And as we've heard, by the way, we won't tell your parents. I hate that. I absolutely hate it. I hate being forced to agree with people's delusions. That's the way we're heading in Scotland. I hate the conversion therapy ban that's coming. I mean, Dad could say to his 5-year-old son, "Oh, come on, son, please don't wear dresses." Conversion therapy. Dad's a criminal. I hate that. I hate that. Is that enough hate speech for you? Hopefully it is. Hopefully it is. But let's just think about the Scottish government, because they don't just mess up in one area. They've got a whole range of talents. But where can we start? NHS, falling to bits. Absolutely falling to bits. The police, they're trying to turn the police into social workers in uniform, undermining them in all sorts of ways. The police, if someone punches you in the face, not so interested. If it's something on the government's political priorities, they'll be right there. Wrecking policing. Schools, it's not just the corruption and sexualisation of children. Political indoctrination, undermining discipline, academic standards, being absolutely wrecked by the government's policies. The nation's finances are a mess. They just borrow money with no idea how to pay it back. Ferries, say no more. I mean, energy policy, we won't use our own energy here in Scotland. We'll buy the same stuff from other countries, because that somehow will save the planet. Freedom, what regards to the Scottish government got for our freedoms? Well, we've had 2 years to learn about that, haven't we? Somewhere in the region of 0. Hate speech legislation. So many people in Scotland are scared to say what they think. Not us, but people are scared. We've got to change it. Now, some of those things I've said there, that's just being an incompetent government, isn't it? I mean, some people are not very good at some things. The Scottish government's not very good at running the country. Okay, fair enough. But the sexualisation of children, the corruption of children, the leading them down a dangerous and life-destroying route, that's not incompetence. That is evil. That is absolutely evil. The thing I want to say about this, it's really important. We don't see this as a one-off issue. It's not that there's been this crazy idea to reform the Gender Recognition Act. This is some sort of one-off. This is part of a big pattern, And underneath it all, I believe, in a lot of people involved in Scottish politics, they basically hate the idea of family. They're against family. The idea of mum and dad and their kids, they really don't like it. They'll promote anything and everything apart from the ideal and natural family life. Now, this Gender Recognition Act reform, what will the UK government, will the UK Conservatives introduce it? Probably not. There'll be a Labour government, they will introduce it. Then there'll be a Conservative government, will they overturn it? No. Because that's the way it always goes. It's a one-way street. It's a one-way street. We go in the wrong direction and it never gets turned back. So we have to ask the question, what's coming next? Well, a gender recognition bill for children. The Greens are already asking for it. 100 genders. You can't just change. A man can't just become a woman. A man can become a two-spirit, fairy, gender, or whatever. That will be in the law before too long. We've heard about. What about there 3 people getting married? That's coming soon. Coming soon to a parliament near you. Mark my words, you heard it here first. Birth certificates with no sex on. It's coming. And the ultimate, the thing that terrifies us the most, is the sexualisation of children, resulting in justification of paedophilia. Some people would say that you've been sensationalist. That's not justified. It is. If you look at what people are saying, they talk about sexual rights of children, children's rights. Children should be treated the same as adults. Anything an adult's allowed to do, a child should be allowed to do. Children need liberating from the control of adults. Like the World Health Organization says, babies are sexual beings. So at all age, children are sexual beings. So these organisations call the shots, and the Scottish government, they don't think they have a mind of their own, they just go along with it. They go along with it. It is appalling, and that is where it is heading. So what we do, we're here about this one particular issue, but the really important thing, we mustn't get into the habit of just protesting one issue and then that one dies down. Then the next crazy thing comes up, we protest that one, then that one dies down. And it just keeps on going. So we have battle after battle, we keep losing them, and it heads further and further in the wrong direction. We've got to fight this whole agenda. The whole agenda, hook, line and sinker. Now, I've seen a few of the suffragette colours around here. I would like to congratulate all the women in Scotland who've been involved in this movement against the crazy Gender Recognition Act reform. It is, let's give them a round of applause. Every single issue they brought up is absolutely vital and is absolutely valid. Absolutely. But I sometimes find myself looking at them and thinking, where are the men? Where are the men in Scotland? I sometimes think over the weekend, how many tens of thousands of men in Scotland are screaming abuse at a referee in some football ground? Really, their passions are stirred. And then when it comes to this, when it comes to poisoning the mind of their own children, their grandchildren, maybe they don't get quite so passionate about that. But that's our job. Our job is to wake up Scotland to what's going on and to mobilise people. We're the cutting edge here. This is going to grow and grow. But you're the people who are taking a stand, and your presence here will encourage other people. So the fight goes on. This gender recognition, I mean, the real issue isn't that, the system's not quite right. A doctor should have to sign the form. It should be 12 months instead of 3 months. You should be 18 instead of 16. It should only be 2 genders. That's not really the point, is it? That's what they squabble about in there. That's what they squabble about in there. And the whole idea of a man becoming a woman, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. It's just not true. And you can't force people to accept other people's delusions. No matter how much you sympathise with them, we can't go down that route. So say this is not about just this issue. This is a wider agenda. We've got to fight it. Now I'm going to hand over to Steph in a minute. Steph obviously won't thank himself, but I'd just like to say what an amazing job he's done bringing people together. There's people from all sorts of walks of life, all sorts of backgrounds. Obviously it's the family party, we're fighting against this, but there's other people in other ways as well, fighting against this same agenda. I always say with Steph, when Steph rose to prominence as a poet, he could have gone down the line. I mean, he probably would have had an OBE by now. He probably would have had his own TV programme. But Steph decided, no, as we've decided, there's more important things than that. And when it comes to rated things, nothing comes higher than protecting children. So you give Steph a clap for getting all this together too.